Walruses can live for up to 40 years. They usually mate in the middle of winter between January and March. After a 15-month gestation period, one pup is born. Pups are typically just over a meter long and weigh about 165 pounds. Walrus pups have short, soft hair covering their bodies, pale gray flippers, and a thick, white, mustache-looking thing. They have no visible teeth upon birth. The pup will suckle on its mother's milk for the first 6 months of its life, and afterwards will begin to eat solid food. Walruses typically triple in size during their first year, and although they become more independent during this time, female pups tend to remain very close to their mother until they are 2 or 3 years old. Males, on the other hand, begin to venture away from the herd and join all male groups. Female walruses are able to reproduce at around 6 or 7 years old, but males are not mature enough to do so until they are at least 10 years old. Even at age 10, however, it is unlikely that they will prove their dominance. It takes most male walruses at least 5 more years of strength building to prove their dominance and successfully reproduce. Walruses are very sociable animals that often live in herds, which can contain thousands of individuals. When hunting, however, walruses will break up into small groups of as few as 10 individuals. This decreases the competition for food. Walruses are found throughout the northern Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, where they live on ice floes and rocky coastlines. They also spend much of their time in the water. When the ice is thick during the winter, walruses typically inhabit areas with thinner ice, so they can break through the surface from the water underneath for air. When the ice is thinner during the summer, walruses are usually found on rocky coastlines. Although their bodies are well suited to cold conditions, walruses sometimes go further south to central Canada, the United Kingdom, and even the Spanish coast. Walruses are carnivores who find almost all of their prey on the ocean floor. They eat clams, snails, worms, squid, octopi, and even some species of slow-moving fish. One of their features that helps them hunt other animals is their mustache that has about 450 sensitive hairs. It helps them find food in the dark, deep, and murky waters. They also expel streams of air and water into the sediment to reveal food hidden under the sand and then suck the food into their mouths. Due to their large size and aggressive nature, walruses have very few predators in their natural environment. Their only true natural predator is the killer whale. Occasionally, a brave bear or polar bear will attempt to hunt them as well, but most of the time walruses can easily defend themselves with their massive tusks. Unfortunately, humans are the most common predator of the walrus. Humans hunt them for meat, skin, and oil. They are also threatened in certain areas by water pollution. Oil contamination directly affects them and their prey, leading to starvation and eventually death. Additionally, large fishing vessels can cause severe noise pollution in the normally quiet and remote waters, which distresses walruses and other animals. Walruses have many unique and interesting adaptations. For instance, they deposit most of their body fat into a thick layer of blubber, which is a layer of fat reinforced by fibrous connective tissue that lies just below the skin. This blubber layer insulates the walrus and streamlines its body. It also functions as an energy reserve. Blubber may be up to 10 centimeters thick. and during the winter, blubber may account for as much as 1/3 of the walrus's total body mass. They have also evolved big lungs and an efficient respiratory system, allowing them to stay underwater for up to 10 minutes. During a dive, their heart rate slows down and their blood is distributed to the most vital organs like the heart and brain in order to save oxygen. Additionally, walruses' muscles have evolved to have a high content of myoglobin, which binds, transports, and stores oxygen. Walruses also have adaptations for hunting. They have developed extremely muscular hind flippers that help them swim over 20 miles per hour, for example. Also, their pharyngeal muscles prevent water from entering the trachea when it opens its mouth below water. A walrus's core body temperature is about 98 degrees Fahrenheit. When the water is cold, the walrus has many adaptations to help itself. They have a heat gradient throughout the blubber to the skin, for instance. This keeps the skin about 2 to 6 degrees Fahrenheit warmer than the water, which allows walruses to withstand extremely cold temperatures, up to -31 degrees Fahrenheit. Additionally, in cold water, their blood is shunted inward as blood vessels in the skin constrict, reducing heat loss to the environment and making the skin appear pale, almost white. The walrus has ways of dealing with a warm environment as well. When air temperatures rise above 60 degrees Fahrenheit, walruses often stay in the water to stay cool. The most famous adaptation of the walrus is its magnificent tusks, which are used primarily for fighting with competitors for the most favored breeding sites and the females that reside there.
In Arctic waters, ice sheets bob and break against one another. It's the setting for an unusual heavyweight competition, tusk wrestling. The arena, a shrinking ice floe. The contestants, a pack of sun-starved walruses. The larger males weigh up to 2,700 pounds and sport tusks more than a foot long. It's a contest of size, stamina, and as with all sports, the determination to win. The object is simple. The last walrus on the ice wins the gold medal and a chance to bask in the golden rays of the sun. It starts with a show of tusks. A standard opening tactic, it scares off smaller competitors. A few cows and calves scramble off the ice and into the water. But showmanship won't win the fight. Someone has to make the first push. It's a scrum as every tusker shoves his way to the center. Two walruses plow into each other. Each tries to push the other one back. One gains a height advantage and jabs with a tusk strike. The scrum doesn't let up. Tusks stab left and right. The welts look nasty, but they only sting. Every one of these cold-weather sumo wrestlers is protected by a hefty layer of blubber and inch-thick skin. Even so, the tusk strikes make their point. Running out of steam, some walruses head for cooler waters. The field begins to clear. This tusk wrestler pushes off with the flippers. His opponent loses his balance, and down he goes. The last few contestants slip into the water. Only one remains on the ice. Bloody, tired, he tastes the sweet air of victory and the warm rays of the winter sun.
Overall, walruses are an integral part of marine life, and their unique adaptations make them a fascinating sight to behold.